Welcome to part 4 of our VisRad Introductory series. In this video, we'll be adding our wires to our hohlraum to connect our backlighter. This video is optional. If you're comfortable with adding and editing target objects, feel free to skip this video and continue on to video 5, where we'll be adding our stock.
This process of adding wires is going to be a little repetitive and tedious, so if you feel comfortable manipulating target objects, you can feel free to end the video now and continue to the next video where we're going to be talking about adding stocks. So for those of you who want to see how this is done, I'm going to go ahead and add a cylinder and call it wire 1. We'll use the reference system of the hohlraum, and once again, in cylindrical coordinates, we're going to use that 108-degree angle that we've been using for our material sample cutout angle. And instead of setting the centroid of our wire, we're going to set the bottom of the wire. And we're going to set that bottom of the wire directly above the center of our sample at the top of the hohlraum. So we'll use a radius of 0.8, the radius of our hohlraum, and a z of also 0.8, which is half the height of our hohlraum. And for sizing, we're going to use a pretty small wire. So I'll go ahead and use a radius of 0.04 millimeters. And then I'm going to pick a value of 4 for the length to make it pretty long. And we'll flip it 90 degrees again. And let me just make this a different color to make it easy to look at. And there is our wire extending from our hohlraum. We can see because of the curvature of the hohlraum, there is a little bit of a gap here. So I can just go ahead and scooch this in a little bit and shift these from 0.8 to 0.78 and 0.78. And you can see that kind of brings the wire in closer to the hohlraum. So we can keep doing it more and more, but that's kind of up to you to decide how close you want it to the hohlraum. To add the second wire, instead of going through that entire process again, we'll just duplicate wire 1. Rename it to wire 2, and this time we're going to be setting it inside of the backlighter, right at the center. So I can set all that to 0. We'll be setting the bottom again. We will want to flip it 180 degrees, so otherwise it'd be heading from the backlighter into the hohlraum, and we want it to go the opposite direction. So if I hit apply, we can see our second wire pop up. It's a little long, definitely doesn't need to be that long. So I'm going to go ahead and set it to a length of 1. And now we're ready to add our third wire. To add wire 3, we'll duplicate wire 1, call it wire 3, and we'll position the bottom of this wire against wire 1. And we'll be putting this at the end of wire 1, so we'll use a radius of 0, so we're at the center of the wire, and we'll have to put the length of the wire down as 2, and we want a 0 azimuthal angle, and if I move our dialog and hit apply, we can see our second wire pop up. So how do we get this wire to aim down and hit wire 2? Well, there's this little tool here we can click. This is the orientation angles calculator. And what we can do is we can use this to find the orientation of our wire 3. To do that, I'll set the reference coordinate system to wire 1. And we're going to want to put this at the end of that wire. So once again, we'll do 0 for the radial, 0 for the azimuthal, and then 2 for the z direction. And we'll want the endpoint to be our wire 2. Once again, we'll set it to the end of that wire. And this time we're going to use a z of 0.5 because its length was 1. When I hit update, we can generate the reference orientation angles in the wire 1 reference frame. So if I bring this over again, we will set the polar angle to 102.494, the azimuthal to 360, and if I hit apply, we can see our wire swings down and hits wire 2, and our tool also gives us our desired distance, so I can set the length to 1.66, and I'll hit apply, and there is our wire 3. Now you can also use this button to copy the angles instead of typing them in. I just type them in quick. I'll close this, and now we can see our target system is all set up. All of our wires are connected, and our hohlraum is now connected to the backlighter. In the next video, I'll go over how to attach a stalk to our system. I'll see you there.